have him on his board, on their board. They took him off. And they took him off because the owner said take him off. I don't want that guy. I don't want this entitled person on our team.
Well, this Shedeur Sanders situation keeps getting weirder by the day, weirder by the article, weirder by the segment, weirder by the moment, depending on which commentator you guys are listening to. But more and more is unfolding about this unique special draft day in NFL history where Shedeur Sanders, I mean, he got humiliated, he got humbled, and last but not least, he got drafted. May have taken into the 5th round, but he got drafted. But I want you guys to pay attention to what you guys see here on your screen as we go through here and dissect this. Make sure you guys check out my original video I made about why I believe, which I believe this article is going to allude to, why I believe Shedeur Sanders was sitting there for the longest and didn't get drafted until the 3rd day in round 5. Okay, I made a video about that. You guys go check it out. But as you guys see here, NFL owners ordered and titled Shedeur Sanders to be taken off draft boards per Boomer Eisen. Right now, I myself, guys, was very perplexed that Shedeur Sanders did not get taken in the 1st round. And oh shit, we got some baddies up in this thing. Yeah, Shedeur Sanders, he parties hard. I'm quite sure this guy's having fun. But Shedeur Sanders, guys, I told you, 1, his dad did not help him. 2, I think that, you know, he had the entitled, rich, bratty kid approach mentality. And I think that Shedeur Sanders can and is a good guy, depending on the moment. And I'm not going to say good guy. I'm going to say humble guy, right? Because I do think that, you know, he's a good guy. Humble, that's to be discussed. But before we get into this video, guys, I made a video saying that Shedeur Sanders was being humbled, not only by the owners, but by the coaches and also by the Shield. What do I mean by the Shield? The Shield, the NFL Shield, is the reason why football has propelled, guys, and become the #1 sport in America. I never really understood why it was baseball. Maybe way before my time it was popping. I don't know. But the NFL, guys, does a great job of keeping things original. And what do I tell you guys the NBA needs to do? The NBA needs to get back original. You see how Anthony Edwards is, how he's going against the veteran, the face of the league, LeBron James. He's pushing him. He's talking smack. That's original NBA. The NBA has steered away from that, and that's why the ratings and the viewership are on the decline, right? Whereas football, it's not about the player, it's about the team. And that, guys, is a huge difference. That, guys, is why Shedeur Sanders went in the 5th round instead of late 1st or early 2nd. Because I do believe that Shedeur Sanders can beat out Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett, right? I think that Shedeur Sanders can beat them out. But Joe Flacco is pretty tough. We can't sleep on him. He's just old, but he does have a Super Bowl ring for a reason. The NFL had to protect its brand. It's nothing new. It may have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. A lot of people try to make this a racial thing. I would have you guys focus your attention to who the #1 draft pick was. Okay. It wasn't a white guy. It was a black guy who, though him and Shedeur Sanders are quote unquote like best friends, he understood the assignment. He knew to stay humble. He knew to stay hungry. And he knew to stay thankful, which was polar opposite of what we heard about Shedeur Sanders. It's just the truth, right? Just because Shedeur Sanders is black doesn't mean that all black people have to think and agree with the consensus. I've always been that way. You guys know that. Follow my channel. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I don't give a damn if somebody says coon or house ninja, whatever you guys want to say. But the truth of the matter is, if you guys ran a business, if you guys had an organization, if you guys had to do what was best for your fan base, you would. And if you guys have any respect or indignity for yourself, you shouldn't sell your soul because of someone's popularity, right? I would rather go through a healthy struggle than go through a miserable success. I want you guys, I don't even know where that just came from, but I want you guys to just remember what I just said, okay? I'm going to make that a quote, actually. Anyway, I'm telling you guys, I would rather struggle and go through the basics of building a healthy foundation than to have somewhat of a foundation, because the Cleveland Browns don't have that. In fact, Myles Garrett is just a foundation. But still, you wouldn't want someone to come in and disrupt the program. And obviously, guys, based on what the reports were, Shedeur Sanders, he's a bit bratty. And I think that there's nothing wrong with people coming out saying that. Now, holding him into the 5th round was just, oh my God, it was brutal. I mean, my best friends were literally downstairs watching the TV, just waiting. And I'm like, bro, I'm not finna spend my whole weekend waiting on this dude to get drafted. I don't think it's that serious. But, you know, I knew sooner or later he would have went, just not the 5th round. And you guys heard Damian Woody, all these other people. They're on First Take. They're on Get Up. Everybody knows that the NFL did this purposely to teach Shedeur Sanders a lesson, which makes my point of the shield even more valid. The NFL shield is full of white, black, Hispanic, you name it, a lot of minorities. But when it's time to stick together, it's like the police shield, right? The blue line, whatever it is. No disrespect to first responders. I think it's called like the blue shield, blue line. I don't know. You guys let me know out there if you guys are a cop. I appreciate your service. I was a military guy, so I don't want you guys to think that I'm disrespecting police, because I actually appreciate the police, right? But they stuck together. And as a result, they showed Shedeur Sanders and all of the future quarterback, wide receivers, linebackers who are divas with this NIL money, hey, if you guys think that this shit that's flying at college is going to come and fly with the NFL on this level, you guys are sadly mistaken. And don't ever forget about Shedeur Sanders in the 2025 NFL draft. That's the message. Now let's look at this clip to see if we can get even more validation.
And they took him off because the owner said take him off. I don't want that guy. Shedeur Sanders just torpedoed himself. His attitude off the field at the combine, his dad didn't help him either. You know, he was on podcast talking about, this is my son. If I can get him to where I want to get him to, I'm going to do that. But, you know, when you listen to this kid talk right prior or at the combine about if you want a new culture in your locker room, I'm the guy to do that. I can turn it around. I mean, he's very high on himself. And I think he was very off-putting to many coaches and general managers in the league. And I'm telling you right now, and I know this after talking to 3 different personnel people in the NFL this weekend, they didn't even have him on his board, on their board. They took him off. And they took him off because the owner said take him off. I don't want that guy. I don't want this entitled person on our team. And I don't blame him.
Wow. What does that say to you that the whole NFL band together to make this happen? What does that say to you that what's the guy, the head coach for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Todd Bowles, right? The black coach, right? Mike Tomlin, the black coach, right? What does that say to you that they all stuck together to teach Shedeur Sanders a lesson, to humble him, and because his attitude was that obnoxious? I'm looking at all these content creators and all these people on Instagram. Oh, they're literally emasculating the man. They're showing, oh, wait a minute now, because you guys don't got the same smoke for the black head coaches who passed on Shedeur Sanders either. And then Skip Bayless, who was trying to get his job at 74, 75 years old, instead of riding off into the sunset, he's beating the Shedeur Sanders drum. He wants to be down with the Brown. He wants to be in our community because he knows that predominantly sports like football and basketball, you know, the African Americans, we are pretty much predominantly running that shit, right? So Skip Bayless is going to get out here and obviously Deion Sanders, you know, who won a championship for his beloved Dallas Cowboys, who Skip Bayless was beating the drum that the Jerry Jones would take Shedeur Sanders, and it did not happen. He's out here advocating for Shedeur Sanders. I'm not mad at anybody or, you know, feeling a certain way that people want to back Shedeur Sanders, because he does have a fan base. He is polarizing, and he just has the it factor naturally, right? Kid has been groomed very well by his dad, and that is his blood. So I get it. But I want to know from you guys, what does that say? What does that say that these managers, these GMs, these owners typically don't get into the draft process, but this young man must have been super egregiously, if that's a word, egregiously obnoxious, that the owner stepped down and said, I don't give a damn what my role is or what I hired you to do. Don't put that young man on my draft board. And the fact that the Cleveland Browns were originally very high on drafted Shedeur Sanders, and Deion Sanders was making it seem like I don't want my son to go there. Well, guess what? And at the end of the day, they taught this boy a very good lesson. At the end of the day, you're going to go where we think is suitable, right? And we're going to get you way cheaper. The ultimate disrespect. I mean, this dude is going to have to really, really play. And he may be in a Brock Purdy situation at this point, meaning they may wait to the last minute to give you a bag if you're deserving of it, right? But I think that this is all going to work out in the Browns' favor. They originally wanted him, and they got him far more cheaper. Goodness gracious. So I'm making this point. It's not about race. Cam Ward literally went number one. A lot of black Americans, African Americans, went in round 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and throughout the draft. So come on, guys. From my perspective, I don't think that this was racism at all. I know you're going to say, oh, Eli Manning did it, or whoever else, right? I get it. But you guys know that Eli Manning, we didn't hear how he even sounded until he retired. His attitude was polar opposite. He was very easy to work with. And I don't think he was going on media tours saying this or saying that. You guys let me know. I could be wrong, but I just feel like Shedeur Sanders dug himself into a hole with his dad. And when it was time for everybody to get out of the hole, he just didn't have the necessary tools to get out. So he has learned a lesson. And I hope that he seizes the moment to show the world, because I personally thought that this guy was a mid to late second rounder. I never saw first round talent. I'm sorry. I just never saw it. But I hope that he can prove to the world, the same way my boy Jalen Hurts did, that he is special. I do. Because at the end of the day, I saw flashes. I did. But I don't think that the NFL was wrong. What say you? Let me know what you guys think. Drop those comments in the comment section. Make sure you guys subscribe. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Certainly helps me go a long way. Yeah, that it does. Make sure you guys hit the like, share, and notification bell for more future content. And we will see you later at Charge the Game. Peace.